Here come Ojeda. So Richard Ojeda joins us now. This is his fourth or fifth time on the air, but his first time as a presidential candidate. Ojeda, welcome back.
Hey, glad to be here, Cenk. Thank you.
All right, now you just did your first rally in Louisville, Kentucky. Is that correct for presidential race?
That's correct.
All right. I noticed that you started your campaign with a message against corruption. For people that did not see that, what is what you're calling the first pillar of your campaign?
Well, it's about doing away with all the pigs at the trough. We've got people here that they say that they are going to serve the people, but in reality they become congressmen, they become senators, and after one or two terms they're worth millions upon millions of dollars. They go in there and they legislate themselves to wealth. And that's exactly what they do. I absolutely am against that wholeheartedly. They go there and they focus more on doing for those lobbyists. Because those lobbyists are the ones that are kind of dangling the carrot in front of them, and they're going for it every time. That's got to stop. We need to get rid of the backdoor dealings that go on. That's why I said I'd like to see body cameras on every single lobbyist, and would make it to where they weren't allowed to mingle around in the hallways. They can only come to the Capitol for specific meetings, and then the people could actually, type in their representative and watch those actual meetings take place.
And then you could tell them.
That's
right. All right. So. I hear you on that. In fact, I want to ask you a little bit more about the issue of corruption. So when you, and you're currently a senator, state senator in Virginia, right?
Yes, state senator.
Right. So as a state senator in Virginia, West Virginia, you backed a free and fair elections resolution from Wolfpack. Why did you do that?
Well, it's about, I want to support getting big money out of politics. I think that's absolutely crucial. Even at the state levels, we see how money is controlling everything.
Yes, and you're a co-sponsor of that, and I wanted people to know that, and I think that's really important because if we don't have free and fair elections, we got nothing.
Absolutely.
Okay, now, Richard, I'm gonna keep it real with you. You voted for Donald Trump. So a lot of people in the country are saying,
I can't accept that.
Okay, so how do you respond to the folks who say, listen, you're running a Democratic primary, but you voted for Trump not so long ago. They can't accept that.
Well, they can't accept that, but the truth is that the Democratic Party has not put forward a candidate that stands with working class citizens. I'm tired of the elitist, which is what they give us every single election, which is why it's always the lesser of two evils. We're tired of the Goldman Sachs Democrat. It's time for the working class Democrats, and that's me.
But in your anti-corruption stance, you say that if you're going to go into Congress, you have to give away all of your money except for $1 million. So you have to give it away to charity. So where are you going to put all of your millions of dollars?
Well, I don't have millions of dollars. The average family income where I'm from is $44,000. So telling somebody that they get a retirement of $130,000 with a cap of $250,000 is phenomenal because nobody has that anywhere where I come from. Middle America, the average citizen out there does not have nothing like that.
All right, Senator Ojeda, let's talk about your policy planks, though. Where are you on the issue of choice?
I believe in a woman's right to choose. I say that I'm pro-life because I want to see a reduction in abortion. But the truth is, every Republican is pro-life until the mistress gets pregnant. I bet you Donald Trump knows a little something about that. I believe I want to see a reduction. I would quadruple the funding to Planned Parenthood without a doubt.
So now I'm going to keep it real with you, though. It's easy to say you're pro-life, and it seems like you're at least consistent about your position on that. But if you're saying in legislation you would allow the women to choose, legislatively you would be pro-choice.
I've always said pro-life, but once again, we've allowed them to take that term away from us. They're not pro-life, they're pro-birth. They do away with the programs to feed the child, to educate the child, to clothe the child. I want to see a reduction in abortion, but I will tell you that, I do not like telling a woman what she can do with her body, and I will support her right to choose.
So how about the issue of healthcare? Some folks are saying let's just patch up Obamacare. Some are saying public option or a Medicare option. And of course, there's also Medicare for all, which would be single payer. So what are you in favor of?
I'm for Medicare for all, but it means everyone, to include Congress, to include Senate, to include the president. No more golden plan. They get the bronze package like the rest of us do.
Okay, so everybody would be covered by Medicare under Medicare for all, and that would mean a great amount of savings in terms of the personal costs that you pay for both insurance and medical bills and co-pays, et cetera. It would also mean that employers would save a lot of money and could pass those savings on to their employees. It would mean higher taxes. Now, when you say it would apply to everybody, in most of the plans, it at least has the option of like Medicare Advantage, where they could buy a Cadillac plan if they wanted to. Would you allow for that in your proposal or no?
No. I think that if they had the same exact package that everyone else had, then when they cast their votes, they would be making decisions that directly impact their families, which means they would do right. We would fix healthcare in this country.
Yeah, so that is a more strident position than even some fellow progressives are taking, which I suppose, given your overall stance on issues, is unsurprising. Okay, so now let's go to the issue of immigration. So look, there is the issue of undocumented immigrants coming into the country. We're all against someone breaking the law and coming in an undocumented fashion. That's easy. We're all, especially if you're running as a Democrat, I imagine, against the fear mongering that Trump does on immigration. The hard part is in the proposals. So what's your stance on immigration?
I support DACA, and I want a pathway to citizenship. That's exactly what I want.
So when you say pathway to citizenship, what does that mean for you?
I don't think it should take years for a person to become a citizen. Right now, we have people coming to this country, and it's taken forever. It shouldn't take that long to become a citizen, and that's exactly where we're at right now, and that's not right.
So let's talk about.
Go ahead.
Sorry, let's talk about your family history a little bit, because one of your grandfathers was actually an undocumented immigrant, and in fact, that's where the name Ojeda comes from. It originally was Ojeda, I believe.
Yes.
And so, how did that get resolved for your grandpa?
Well, later on, he ended up becoming documented, and when he was in his 70s, he became a citizen. But in the beginning, when he first came to this country, he was undocumented.
Okay, and how about guns? I know that in West Virginia, you've got a different situation than you do maybe in some of the bigger cities in the country, et cetera. So what's your view on guns?
I support the Second Amendment, but I throw the NRA paperwork in the trash. I don't need to be a member of the He-Man Woman Haters Club to support the Second Amendment. I want to do away with the loopholes in gun shows. I don't have a problem with background checks.
Okay, how about AR-15s?
AR-15s, when it comes to something like that, I'll be honest with you. I want one. Okay, I will tell you this, that I think that mental health is a major issue that we have. We got to remove the stigma of mental health. But if a person doesn't have any mental health issues in their background, they're not a criminal. I don't have a problem with them being able to purchase a firearm like that.
How about bump stocks?
You need to be responsible for your guns. If you own a gun and you allow that gun to fall into the hands of somebody that has mental health issues or a child and they use it, then you're responsible for it.
So the NRA sometimes is opposed to having serial numbers on the weapons, or allowing for fingerprint technology that would only allow the owner of the gun to use it. Or in fact, in some cases, they're against outlawing armor-piercing bullets that were also known as cop killers. What's your stance on those?
Yeah, I think that the NRA is absolute garbage. Let me tell you something. I am proud to have an F rating from the NRA.
Okay, well, that's clear. Okay, one more on gun control, bump stocks.
No need in them.
Okay, so now let's talk about one last thing. So we talked a lot about policy there. You certainly caught on fire a little bit online, and you've got some excitement there. But you still have, generally speaking, little name recognition. So Richard, how are you going to get past that to catapult yourself into the contenders in this race?
I'm going to go out there and I'm going to continue doing what I do. I'm going to put boots on the ground everywhere. I'm going to try to meet people. Social media has been phenomenal. I was able to get, a lot of recognition in my congressional race. Well, now that I'm running for the president of the United States, I think that I'm starting to really pick up a lot of momentum and get a lot of recognition. The event that we had tonight in Louisville, Kentucky was phenomenal. We had a big crowd, and I think that we're just going to continue doing that. I think that people are starting to get excited because they're seeing somebody that's willing to get in here and fight. Like I said, we're not going to beat Donald Trump with the same cookie cutter politicians. We're going to have somebody that can get in there and fight, and that's what I do.
So one last thing, you're from West Virginia. You're from a very, very red district. It was 49 points in favor of Donald Trump. You made up 37 of those points, but still lost. So there's a debate within the Democratic Party whether to go more progressive and populist or to go more centrist and lean a little bit more towards the establishment to appeal to red state voters. Where do you come out of that? Are you going to run as a progressive or as a centrist?
I think I'm pretty much a progressive for the most part, but I'm going to be me. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I'm going to continue fighting for the working class citizens. I'm going to continue fighting for our sick. I'm going to continue fighting for veterans. I'm going to do everything in my power to take care of our elderly and do for our children out there. And I'm going to try to create opportunities for those who live in poverty to elevate themselves out of poverty with a hand up. That's what I'm going to do. Regardless of what that's called, that's me.
Is it time to knuckle up?
It's always time to knuckle up.
All right, Senator Richard Ojeda, running for United States President in 2020. Thank you for joining us again on the Young Turks Network.
Thank you, Cenk.
Like what you see? I hope so. Thank you. So click the subscribe button below and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss another video from Rebel HQ.